Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream with me, Professor Heather Austin. I'm in a new location today. I'm actually in my in-laws' office at their house because we are staying with them for a month. Our new house is almost ready for us. Last live stream is the last time you're going to see me in that office. We're in a new location here. If you can hear me and audio is coming through and you can see me, give this video a big, huge thumbs up. If you have not yet said hello in the chat, make sure you say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from today. I saw a lot of you jump in early. So happy to see you here. Tane was here early. Victor was here. Aldo was here early. Marcus, hello. Eric is here. Alberto, Megan from Seattle. Awesome. Tim, so happy to have you. Charles is here. William, Paul, amazing people. I want to say hello to all of you guys. Keep saying hello in the chat. Let me know where you're joining us from today. We have a very special live stream. So this is something that I've been talking to my Academy students quite a bit about. And I've also been talking to my clients about massive layoffs and job market chaos. So today's live stream is all dedicated to helping you prepare for what's next. Now, here's the thing. I always prepare slides. I always have amazing questions to ask you guys. So answer my questions in the chat. Say hello. It's going to be a very interactive live stream. I have to tell you, there are probably 4 slides at the very end of this presentation that you are not going to want to miss. In fact, the 4 slides at the very end that I share with you are going to change everything about your job search, okay? My team's also here in the chat, answering questions as well, moderating the chat, making sure you guys are being nice. So if you do have questions, my team will get those answered, and I will be spending a couple of minutes at the end answering questions as well. So you guys, we are going to just get right into it. And if you're watching this on the replay, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, all that good stuff. And I am going to jump right into the slides and, of course, be prepared to answer some amazing questions that I have coming your way. So today we are talking about massive layoffs, job market chaos, what you need to know, okay? So let me ask you this. If you have not already shared in the chat where you're joining us from, let us know. And then also let me know, what is your biggest job search challenge right now? A lot of you shared before today's presentation what you're going through. I want to know, for those that are in the live chat, or if you're watching this on the replay, let me know down in the comments what your biggest job search challenge is. Now, I shared this story in my last live stream, but I want to share it again because it's such a pivotal story in terms of why I'm even here today presenting in front of you. So when I was 21, I had the dream of going to graduate school. So I wanted to learn everything I could about my field. I wanted to become an expert in my industry. Well, here's the thing. I didn't realize at the time how hard it would be to get accepted to graduate school. So I'm not very good at test taking. I ended up taking the GMAT, which is the graduate admissions test, and I failed it 3 times. And I even studied for an entire year and still failed the GMAT. Now, I didn't let that stop me, even though I cried for days and days. I couldn't sleep. I'm wondering what's wrong with me. I went into the program chair's office and I bravely said, "Hey, I don't take tests very well. What can I do to get accepted to graduate school and to come to school here?" And he said, "Hey, well, let's talk really about your true intentions and let's put you on provisional admittance and get you into the program." So he accepted me in. Now, here's the thing. If I would have given up at that time, and I would have said, "You know what? I suck at test taking. This is terrible. I'm not going to amount to anything," right? I would have never created my YouTube channel, where we have reached over 16 million viewers with the content that we create. I would have never been invited to speak across the country at leadership events. I would have never been invited to present or speak on amazing career podcasts. I would have never helped people find jobs at these amazing companies. And most importantly, I would have never been able to teach my kids that they can pursue in the face of adversity, okay? So again, this is my family. My teenagers are taller than me now, and our 2 little boys, I call them monkeys because they swing off of rafters literally every day. So I'm telling you guys this story because I want you to know that even if there are rejections, even if there are massive layoffs, even if there is job market chaos, you can persist and you can move forward with your career dreams, okay? Let me share with you guys a couple of people who have had amazing success just from visiting this channel and taking part in what I teach. So Stacy wrote in and said, I binge watched your YouTube, your videos for the last few weeks to put together a bulletproof plan to get a new job during this crazy time. She says it worked. I got offered a job today that I really wanted. She goes on to say, I used your negotiation video for $15,000 more than what they were offering. She's like, yeah, me, yeah, you. I love these. I love when we get these. John wrote in and said, this video and your channel generally are the most helpful resources I have seen on YouTube for career and job preparation. I had an interview recently and I got the job. And then Senior wrote in and said, I followed your advice and got hits on my new resume in one day. He says, not exaggerating. I had an interview the next week and I got the job. He says, now I'll be making significantly more. So you guys, what I'm teaching you guys during this presentation today will change everything, okay? Now, here's the thing. I want you to get rid of all those distractions, okay? Close the tabs that you have on. Maybe you have people in the background. Try and zone those people out. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb, because this is your time to make a change in your job search and in your career, okay? Now, if you are able to stick with me all the way until the end, I have a very special bonus. I want you to join me for a free 60-minute group career strategy consultation with me and my team, okay? This is where we meet over Zoom and we get to chat about your career, what's going on, and give you real valuable resources to help you overcome the challenges that you're having. So, next question for you. What is your dream job title? Okay, so let me know, what is your dream job title? And by the way, my team's in the chat. They are going to be answering your questions as they come in. I see Mark actually talked about his biggest challenge is age discrimination. I got a lot of that when I asked you guys what was going on. TD says looking for remote opportunities, but no luck so far. I'm going to give you guys some amazing resources today, so you'll definitely want to tune in for that. So what is your dream job title? Type that into the chat. While you guys are putting that in, I'm going to just quickly share with you exactly what we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk about navigating the new normal, okay? Understanding the surge in layoffs and how to respond, okay? The other thing we're going to talk about is the layoff landscape. So this is where we're going to cover sectors and companies that are most affected right now by these surge in layoffs and why. We're going to then dive into thriving in turbulent times, okay? Because believe it or not, there are lots of companies and lots of sectors that are thriving right now. So we're going to discover those industries and companies that are hiring right now. And then finally, we're going to talk about how to elevate your job search strategy. So again, this is where I'm going to share with you guys 4 slides. You're going to want to take screenshots of these slides, and these slides will change everything. You'll be able to put them into practice as soon as this live stream wraps, okay? So I'm sharing insider tips to stand out in a crowded market. Now, where do we start? Let's first start with understanding the surge and layoffs, okay? So from what we know right now and the research and all the everything that's going on, there are 4 main reasons that we are seeing these layoffs, okay? Number 1, an economic downturn. I'm sure this is not a surprise to any of you. Again, economic downturns happen because of recessions. Maybe there's a decline in consumer spending. Maybe there's economic factors that a company can't control, okay? Now, when companies experience these disruptions in their revenue, such as an economic downturn, they need to reduce their expenses. And one of the things they start with is their workforce, okay? The next thing is automation, okay? So automation is hitting the world like we've never seen before right now, and it's only getting bigger and better, okay? So this is new technology coming into the world, and we're all learning how to use it, and it's taking over some of those repetitive tasks that workers might have done in the past, right? The other thing that we're seeing is a lot of restructuring, okay? So this could involve a company consolidating their operations. Maybe they're reducing redundancies. Maybe they're shifting focuses in their business, okay? Now, these types of changes result in job loss, right? And companies are trying to become more competitive and more efficient with what they have, okay? And then finally, residual from the pandemic. So if you guys remember, I've been live streaming for years on this channel, right? When the pandemic hit, there were so many companies hiring. Well, after the pandemic, the main part of it, right? Like through 2020 to 2021, there was massive hiring. There was a lot of monetary policy that was happening. And this was making it easy, especially for those tech companies, to raise capital and invest in growth. So again, there was a lot of hiring. Well, that has all slowed down. So what we're seeing right now with these layoffs is we're seeing that residual from the slowdown, okay? Now, my next question for you, have you or anyone you known been affected by these layoffs that we've seen in the past year? Let me know in the chat. Have you or anyone you know been affected? You can even just type yes. I want to look at where you guys are with your title. So I'm seeing project manager. I love that. I'm seeing customer service or operations management. So good. James says, favorite job, travel 50% of the time, calling on customer and selling a good product. I love that. Jayla says, I want to use my degree to become an independent artist that is knowledgeable of the legal aspects of the field. I love it. Awesome. Okay, so type in yes to the chat if you or anyone you've known or have been affected by the layoff this past year. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is companies and sectors that are most affected by the layoffs, okay? And then, by the way, there is hope to this presentation because I am going to share with you what companies and sectors are actually hiring, okay? So again, we've seen Twitter halved its workforce, Meta cut 13% of its employees, Amazon eliminated 10,000 workers, Microsoft just eliminated 10,000 workers, Google just eliminated 12,000 workers, Spotify eliminated over 6,000 workers, and Zoom cut 15% of its employees. So guys, I know that a lot of these are tech companies, but the reason why this is so important is because a lot of the job market follows some of these bigger tech companies. So that's why it's important to keep an eye on what's happening right now in the workforce. Like we've seen Lyft, we've seen Salesforce, we've seen Cisco, we've even seen startups cut workers, okay? Now, I want to point you guys to a resource. I've shared this before on the channel, layoffs.fyi. If you guys have not heard of layoffs.fyi, you're going to want to take a look at it. This is an Airtable report where it lists the companies with layoffs, and it's pretty much updated every single day, okay? In fact, I read an article just recently about the individual who invented this, and he actually invented or created this program during the pandemic because there were so many layoffs going on. So anyway, take a look at layoffs.fyi just to keep your eye on what companies are laying off, because if you're currently in the interview process with one of them, you want to know the landscape of what's going on, and this is a great resource for that. Awesome. Okay, so I'm seeing some people, Lucia says, yes, the company went bankrupt. I'm seeing some of you guys, you do know people, or maybe you were affected. Adriana says, I was affected. Yes. Homes Team says, all these experienced workers in tech being laid off. So someone new trying to get into tech really has an uphill battle. Yes, I got that comment just yesterday. These layoffs are making it hard for me to get my foot in the door. So, yep, I hear ya. Okay, next question for you. The companies that I just shared, which one do you think will rebound the quickest? Now, I know who I think will rebound the quickest, and I'll share that in just a minute. But type into the chat, who of all those companies, which one do you think will rebound the quickest? Now, while you guys are typing that in, let's look at discovering the industries and companies that are hiring right now. Okay, so I did a little bit of research on this just this past week to kind of really dig in and get some names of companies and really just see sectors. So of course we know healthcare. Okay, so healthcare, I feel like healthcare is always hiring. Okay, you've got hospitals, clinics, pharmacies. Okay, you've got companies like Moderna. You've got United Healthcare Group. All of those companies are doing hiring right now. Information technology. I know that I did share these big tech companies that were doing massive layoffs, but you still have companies like Yelp, eBay, Samsung Semiconductors, Veritas. They're hiring, okay? You also have the financial services industry, okay? So these are institutions like banks, insurance companies, investment firms, okay? You've got Wells Fargo, Bloomberg is hiring, Binance is even hiring. You got media and communication. So I read the other day that CBS News is hiring, okay? If you have an interest to be in that industry. The transportation and delivery industry is also hiring. So again, this is where you have your companies like Boeing, United Airlines, you have Airbus. Think in terms of those companies because they're doing a lot of hiring as well. Education and online learning, that's always expanding and always growing. Another one is human resources and staffing. I know that I have a lot of recruiters and human resource managers and human resource folks inside my community that either just visit the channel, they're in our free Facebook group, which by the way, my team will pop the link to our free Facebook group. If you're not in there yet, hop in. I think there's maybe 16,000 people and we answer questions every day in there. We share resources with you. But my team will pop that into the chat so you guys can visit us in there. In terms of human resources and staffing, you have companies like Lee Hecht Harrison, if you know them, Robert Half International, they're hiring. And then finally, we have restaurant and retail, okay? Chipotle is doing massive hiring. I know Starbucks is doing massive hiring. You even have companies like CVS Health. So you guys, there are plenty of opportunities out there and there's plenty of positions out there. It's just knowing where to look and knowing what steps to take, okay? So question for you. A company, tell me in the chat, a company that you know is currently thriving despite all these challenges. So do you know of a company right now that is thriving despite all of these challenges of the past year, or even, I don't even want to say past year, the past few months, okay? Let me know in the chat if you can think of a company. Now, while you guys are typing that in, let's look at insider tips. Again, this is a super important part to this presentation, you guys. Listen up if you've zoned out for a minute, okay? In fact, I want to show you guys something. This is to get you to pay attention. I have this, can you see it? It's like a squishmallow. I have it behind my back. It makes it a little bit more comfortable. And I sleep with this thing every night. I love it. It's so squishy and comfortable. Okay, so insider tips to stand out in a crowded market. Let me share with you guys some things that you want to think about. 3 tips, and that's it. If you can think about these 3 tips and you can apply what I'm going to teach you, I guarantee in a week or 2 weeks from now, you're going to write to my channel and you're going to say, Heather, oh my goodness, this happened to me. I landed my new job and I'm making more than I thought was possible, okay? So number 1, don't waste time scouring job boards, okay? This is a huge mistake that I see job seekers make. We know based on our research that maybe 1 out of 10 job seekers actually see success using job boards, okay? So you don't want to spend your time scouring these job boards because it's going to waste your time. It's going to kill your confidence, okay? That's the last thing we want you to do. So instead, I'm going to give you a couple other steps. I want you to start with revamping your career portfolio, okay? So number 1 is your resume. Number 2 is your cover letter. And number 3 is your LinkedIn profile. Now, we are hosting a cover letter workshop next week. I'm going to share more about that in just a second. But those are the 3 things you want to make sure you're revamping to start with. Once you get this done, it's going to build your confidence. It's going to make you happy. It's going to help you get out into the job market and really find that next position. Now, let me share with you guys the 3rd tip here, and that is to develop a solid networking strategy, okay? I want you to screenshot this slide, okay? Don't waste time on job boards. Revamp your career portfolio and develop a solid networking strategy. Now, I'm going to give you 3 sub tips to this networking strategy, okay? So tune in, and I'm sharing 3 templates. You guys, I never share this many templates in one setting, but these templates are amazing. They are going to help you. You can screenshot them. You can take them and use them today. In fact, I want you to use them today as soon as this live stream's over, okay? So step number 1, this is your networking strategy. Step number 1, this is all you need to do. I'm telling you guys, if you just do these 3 steps, you will see success. find your core 10 to 20 colleagues. Now, let me explain what I mean by your core 10 to 20. Now, we all have 10 to 20 people we know that are connectors, they're leaders, they're maybe CEOs, they're decision makers, they are high up, they know a lot of people. I want you to reach out to your 10 to 20, start today. I'm going to give you a template in just a second to help you do that, okay? So you're going to find your core 10 to 20, okay? The next one is I want you to find, if you don't already have, 5 to 7 trusted recruiters, okay? So recruiters can really help you be the link and can really help you with some of these bigger companies that are hiring, or even smaller companies, it doesn't matter. But if you can get on their side, you can show them your worth, you can show them that you're of value, they will do what they can to help you land a new position, okay? So you're first going to find your 10 to 20 colleagues. And by the way, I have a template for the recruiters too. You're going to then find 5 to 7 trusted recruiters that are linked to multiple positions, multiple companies that can help you and help you get your foot in the door. Then I want you to develop a list of targeted companies. Okay, I've never shared this before even in a video. This is so important, you guys. So develop a targeted list of companies. Now, when I meet with my clients and my students every week, I say your targeted list might be 10. That might be all you have the capacity to do, but you might have the capacity to make a list of 30. Okay, you have to go based on your capacity, what you're capable of at this moment, okay? But develop a list of targeted companies. These are the 3 things that you need to do, okay? Now I'm gonna share a slide with you for a template for each of these steps. So type into the chat yes if you are excited for these tips or these templates. And let me show you this mug. So I normally, can you guys even see that? You might not be able to. It says dad and it's riding a bicycle. This was the only mug. I'm at my in-laws right now that I could find. So I'm like, this will do. My father-in-law likes to ride bikes and I'm sure that was for him. Yes, so type yes into the chat if you guys are excited for these templates, and you're going to want to do a screenshot, okay? Yes, okay, good. I'm seeing lots of yeses come in. Okay, this template, this is a back on the market. Let me close or turn off my video for a second, and I'm gonna literally just give you guys 2 seconds to screenshot this, okay? This is a back on the market template. This template right here is you're telling your colleagues, your 10 to 20, that you have these certain skills. So screenshot this, you guys. I'm about to put my camera back on so you won't be able to see the whole thing. You're telling them that, hey, I'm back on the market and I want you to help me. And I can also help you too, okay? This is that template for that. Now, I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it will take forever, but just know this template is amazing. So screenshot that and then type it up. And by the way, if you join any of my programs, this is already available for you. So it's in our templates and all that amazing stuff. So you guys can copy directly from there. You don't have to type it all up, okay? Okay, next template that you're gonna want is a message to your recruiter template, okay? So again, this is you reaching out, and I'm gonna hide my face again really quick so you guys can take just a few seconds to type that or to screenshot this. This next template is going to be the message to a recruiter, okay? So this is, you're basically saying, hey, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to follow up regarding yada, yada, yada. As you know, we recently met to discuss, and this is you just keeping that relationship going with that recruiter, okay? And again, you want to have, and I said 5 to 7, you might have more recruiters that you're in touch with. 5 to 7, 7 might even be kind of high. That seems like the normal amount when I'm meeting with my clients and students and what they're doing. Okay, next template. This is the last template. This is your targeted company message, okay? So this template, let me take my face off again really quickly here. This template is going to be, the company might not even have a position listed, but you know that this is one of your top companies, and you know that you're going to locate the individual that can help you make those decisions, or that is making decisions, okay, in terms of hiring, and you're saying, hey, I hope this message finds you well. I'm reaching out because I'm extremely interested in joining your team. That's basically what you're doing. You're telling them, I want to join your team. Here's why. Here's what I can offer you. Let's start this relationship. Now, let me tell you guys, my academy students, my toolkit members, my clients that we meet with one-on-one, this template they have used to land jobs at their dream job company that weren't even advertised. Okay, this is the start to that relationship. Okay, now I want to know in the chat so far, and I want to give you guys a special invitation in a second here. What is your biggest takeaway so far from today's presentation? So we shared a lot about the job market, who's doing the layoffs, who's hiring, the 3 things that you can do to stand out from the crowd, including some amazing templates. So now, if you guys are not typing up that template and sending it to someone today in your industry, I'm going to be sad. So make sure you get in and start sending that to someone today. Like, start that networking process. So take a moment to think about, what is your biggest takeaway so far from today's presentation? Now, I want to share with you guys, most of you that are here today, and I heard from a lot of you before the session started, that these recent layoffs and the job market changes are kind of unsettling, that you're having a hard time getting your foot in the door. Some of you even said that you're having a hard time matching up your existing experience with positions that are being advertised right now. Some of you even mentioned that you're fighting age discrimination, and that there's a lot of competition in landing better interviews. Now, what I've shared with you again, these are not secrets. They are not magic. These are just proven concepts that my clients and my students use every single day to find work they love, okay? And to find work that pays them more than what they thought was possible. So here's the thing, you guys. I want to invite you to join me next week for Cover Letter Magic. This is a live interactive cover letter workshop. We're hosting this workshop February 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern. This has unlimited replay access. This is a private training. It's not happening on YouTube. It's a private training for only those who grab a ticket. Now, Cover Letter Magic is a 90-minute interactive workshop that will transform the way you write your cover letter, okay? So you'll get to discover my signature 5-part framework for crafting an incredible cover letter that showcases your unique story and helps you land the salary you deserve, okay? So it's time to say goodbye to your generic cover letters that fails to impress recruiters, and it's time to say hello to a proven framework that will help you create a personalized, compelling cover letter that stands out from your competition. Now, let me share with you guys a couple success stories. Kevin wrote in and said, finally got a job offer thanks to Heather and her help. In fact, every interview I had received a job offer or an offer from. Lynn wrote in and said, I just landed my dream job through referral using your networking tips. She says, surprisingly, the position was not even posted anywhere on Indeed or LinkedIn. Anne wrote in and said, my official offer letter came in. She says, from the interviews, I know the salary will be well in my desired range with lots of good benefits. She says, I've gotten my dream job. Stephanie wrote in and said, I just wanted to share this update. I found my new job. She says that they reached out, set up another interview with an offer all in the same day. So this is a message we get frequently. Hey, I had my interview and then I had the offer right then or right soon after the interview was over, okay? She says it all became possible with Professor Heather's tips. A lot of prayer, faith, perseverance, and knowing better was in store for me that I deserve. Let's see. Colton wrote in and said, I've landed 2 dream jobs with your help. Okay, so let me share with you guys really quickly what we're going to cover during this live workshop next week. So the first part is we're going to dive into why you need a cover letter and how it impacts your chances of being hired, okay? The second part during the workshop is we're going to talk about the latest and most effective cover letter strategies, including 3 types of cover letters that make your resume shine. And when I say 3 types, I want you to think outside of the box. When I say cover letter, a lot of people say, oh, this company doesn't require one, or that company doesn't require one, and that's great. And you're not going to send one if they don't. But guess what? You need some sort of introduction, email introduction or something to introduce yourself to someone. So if that's the case, we take a version of the cover letter and we put it into an email introduction, okay? The next part to the workshop is we're going to cover my exclusive 5-part framework for creating a cover letter that tells your unique career story in an interesting and impactful way, okay? During part 4 of the workshop, we're going to cover how to make a lasting impression with the proper formatting, okay, and the proper presentation of your cover letter. During part 5 of the workshop, we're going to cover common cover letter blunders. Okay, so all the mistakes people make. We see cover letters every single week here. And I'm like, oh, I just want to fix that. And I want to fix that. And I want to fix that. And normally when we do, the candidate sees amazing results. So we're going to be talking about those blunders that we see. And then plus I'm going to be going over real life examples of cover letters that get results. Okay. And then you guys know, if you've ever been to a presentation of mine, I always have bonuses. Okay. So during this cover letter workshop, I have our very first bonus. We actually have a brand new section of this workshop where we're going to talk about how to harness the power of AI to write a cover letter that stands out and showcases your skills and qualifications like never before. So have you guys heard of ChatGPT? Because that's what we're going to be bringing in to this cover letter workshop. And that's, of course, our first bonus. Now, the second bonus is our step-by-step playbook that includes guidance. It includes practical exercises, customizable templates, and real-world examples, okay? So you're going to get this as soon as you enroll. You'll have access to the workbook. The third bonus that I have for you is eligibility for a cover letter critique. So for all of those who sign up for the workshop, they get to submit their cover letter, and I will pull it up during the workshop and we'll actually go through it and review it while we're there, okay? Now, I have a free gift for you for anyone that does join us for Cover Letter Workshop or Cover Letter Magic. You do also get a job interview confidence training. Okay, so this is where you are going to uncover the keys to acing your next job interview. This is where we go through 5 power-packed lessons to help you outshine your competition. So we're going to be talking about how to manage your nerves and anxiety, how to craft smart answers to those common questions, what questions should you ask the interviewer? And then all of this comes with an amazing printable guide as well. And then my fast action bonus. If you've been on a presentation of mine, you know that I always give a fast action bonus because I want you guys to join us. The first 20 people to enroll in Cover Letter Magic will get to attend a 60-minute group career coaching consultation. This is an invite-only link. This is a private Zoom room where it's a session with me and my team. You get to come and join us and ask questions and all that amazing stuff, and we help you troubleshoot some of your biggest career challenges, okay? So you're probably wondering, Heather, what's the investment in Cover Letter Magic? You guys are probably going to fall on the floor and not be able to get up because of the value and the investment price. Okay, so everything in Cover Letter Magic, the training, the templates, the examples, the bonuses, and the cover letter, just the actual training is worth more than $2,000. Okay, but you guys can join us today for just $37. Okay, so you get replay access to this one-of-a-kind workshop. Next week, we're hosting it live in a private setting for $37, plus all the bonuses, the free gifts, and the fast action bonus. Okay, you guys? So here's the thing. I don't want you to miss out on the workshop, the bonuses, and the free gift. If you enroll now, you'll save $160 off the full price. And by the way, even when you order Cover Letter Magic from our website, it's not a live class. So this is a live class that you get to attend with me, ask me questions. You even get to pre-submit questions, okay? Now, this special offer won't last long. So to get access to Cover Letter Magic, and if you want to be one of the first 20 to join us, go to heatheraustin.online/live offer. I'm going to also pop this into the chat, and my team is popping it in as well. And what you're going to want to do is click on the link there. I'm going to pin this comment to the very top for you guys. I will also, in fact, anyone listening on the replay, you'll also have this inside of the comments down below the video. Okay, so make sure you jump over and grab that. So that link is pinned. Now, here's the thing: once you enroll, you will be able to go through a secure checkout system. You can use either PayPal or a credit card. Again, heatheraustin.online/live offer, or just click the link inside of the chat bot. the chat box, I should say. I've been talking a lot to chat bots. But I'm at the chat box. Okay, so let me give you guys a few more success stories. Rita says, after months of interviews and denials, I finally landed my dream job. Super excited for the new opportunity. Here's what happened with Peggy. She also went through months of job search disappointments. She said, I landed a great job. I recently joined them and I'm thoroughly enjoying work so far. She goes on to say, which is my favorite part here, there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel. So never give up. Your awesome time is right around the corner. And I couldn't agree more with her. Let me share with you what Ellen said. She said, I had no resume or cover letter to tell my career story. I was struggling to share my skills in an authentic and qualitative fashion. She says, I used your free resume to start and then later purchased the toolkit to revamp my cover letter and LinkedIn profile in the spring of this year. She says, with your help, I was able to get the interview, present my career story in a digestible way, which I love that she uses that term. And she says, I even negotiated a hiring on bonus. My take-home income has doubled. So I know that you guys want to have the same success as these amazing professionals. So join us inside of Cover Letter Magic. Just a quick recap, and then I'll jump into some questions here. You'll get my signature 5-part framework for crafting an incredible cover letter. You get the very first VIP bonus, which is harnessing the power of AI to write a cover letter. So again, this is going to cut down on the time and the effort that it takes. You're going to get the step-by-step playbook with exercises, examples, templates, all that amazing stuff. You'll get eligibility for the cover letter critique. Okay. We have a free gift in there, which is our job interview confidence training with guide. And then plus the fast action bonus, which is a 60-minute group career coaching consultation. Once you enroll in Cover Letter Magic, you'll get access. You'll get an access to the call. We'll tell you when it is, where it is, all that good stuff. And then lifetime access to the curriculum and the templates. So anytime we go in and we make changes or we add new templates that we want you guys to take a look at, you have access to all that. So that is all included inside of Cover Letter Magic. Remember, you guys can join today for just $37. I know you're probably on the floor. Pick yourself back up. Get in this live workshop. It's unlimited replay access if you can't join us live. Plus, you'll be able to pre-submit questions, okay? So share a couple more success stories and then we'll take questions. Serena landed her dream job as a marketing manager. So she wrote in and said, landed my dream job as a marketing manager. She said, I followed all of Professor Heather Austin's advice from creating the cover letter and the resume and the cover letter to the interview process to revamping my LinkedIn profile and much, much more. She says, I purchased her program because I'm so glad I purchased her program because it made a world of a difference. Josh wrote in and landed a new position making over $50,000 per year. He says 100% the best investment ever. Erica actually accepted a remote position as a technical writer. She says, I'm thrilled to let you know I've been offered and accepted a remote position. Today I received the package with all the equipment. That's always the best when your company sends you like your computer and your monitor and the mouse and the keyboard and you're like, this is like awesome. So she says laptop and 2 monitors. She says, I'm so thrilled. Do not be afraid to tell your concern about your fears of pay. So she ended up going on and negotiating a higher salary. And then let me share with you guys what happened with Abraham. So Abraham wrote in and said, landed me my dream job. He says, with my limited experience in the field, I was able to prepare the most amazing CV and cover letter with your advice. He says each hiring manager complimented the attention to detail on my CV and cover letter and wanted to meet. He says many of them even mentioned that he was their first choice, that they called him first. And he says, I broke through their CRMs with your CV advice. Your advice has to be the best I've gotten. So you guys, if you listen to everything we've talked about in today's presentation, you join us for Cover Letter Magic, you tune into this channel regularly, all of these amazing people, we get these messages every single day, and I want you guys to be the next one if you are not yet already. So I'm going to share one last slide with you. Terry, who is our power engineer, he says, your guidance helped me polish my LinkedIn, rev up my resume, helped me ace the interview to get a fabulous job offer for a position that I believe I will really enjoy. He says, I'm a 57-year-old fossil who is 10 years out of the job market. I couldn't have done it without you. So if you guys want to be one of the first 20 to grab Cover Letter Magic. This will definitely be gone today, if not within the next couple of hours. If it is already gone and you the fast action bonus and you still want to join us for the cover letter workshop, join us for the cover letter workshop, because it will give you the opportunity to ask questions, get your cover letter critiqued, and learn some amazing up-to-date modern century cover letter strategies, okay? And I'm not talking the boring cover letter that you might be thinking of. In fact, I want to coin a new term for cover letter, because I think when people hear that term, they're like, oh, cover letters, because they are kind of boring. And they are, sometimes people are like, do I even really need that, But again, the way I teach it, you guys need it and you want to be at this workshop, okay? So go to heatheraustin.online/live offer. Let me see some questions. I know my team's been amazing answering some questions in the chat. Let me see some questions that they want me to answer in case they weren't able to get to that. Let's see. Mary says, when next will you host the Cover Letter Magic? Oh, that's a good question. So we actually have only held this workshop a couple times ever. We normally only hold it once a year, sometimes twice. If I had to put a date on it, it probably won't be until the fall. Like we have so many other workshops and programs and stuff that we have coming up. But this is one that I was getting a lot of questions about. And I thought, let's hold our amazing Cover Letter Magic workshop and get those questions answered. So again, it probably won't be for a little while. Let's see. Michelle says, I will be at a doctor's appointment. Will it be on replay if we sign up? Yes, it will definitely be on replay. And here's the cool thing, Michelle, we put everything into our learning management system. So not only will you get the replay, but you'll get to go and access it whenever you want. And we break up the lessons so that it's very clear. I'm a professor. I love to teach. I love to create content. I love to create templates and workbooks and all that stuff. It is so organized and so well done that when you get in and you get done, you're going to be like, wow, I have an amazing cover letter now. Patty says, in the workshop, will you discuss gaps in employment? Yes. In fact, let me just mention this too really quickly. Your cover letter, you guys, or let's just even call it your interview introduction, okay? Or we could even call it your 30-second pitch. We could really name it whatever we want. But what that resource is for, it's for you to be able to explain any unusual circumstances. Maybe you have a career gap. Maybe you're entering the workforce for the first time. Maybe you're transitioning careers. This is the perfect place for you to actually do that. And we talk a lot about those special cases during the workshop. Okay, WFH Break Room says, how do we find recruiters? Oh, this is such a good question. So I'm sure most of you guys are on LinkedIn, okay? LinkedIn is going to be your number one resource or platform for finding and locating recruiters. Now, I would say, I would love to see you start with your targeted list of companies. And as you're looking at that targeted list of companies, you'll find, it will clearly say Jane Doe, recruiter or senior recruiter or whatever it might be. It might even be just someone in their HR department that's doing the recruiting. You'll know based on their title just by looking at LinkedIn. So you've got to use LinkedIn to the fullest. We do have, as soon as we get into our new house, which will be in about a month, we are hosting, I really want to do a 3-day LinkedIn workshop, a free workshop for you guys, because I think LinkedIn is one of the most amazing resources as a job seeker. So we will be talking about LinkedIn and we will talk about that, but that won't be for another 4 weeks, probably, maybe even longer. So yeah, I would definitely say that if you want to use LinkedIn and you want to contact recruiters, join me for that training. If not, we have lots of amazing resources on our website and all the amazing videos. Okay, we've got a lot of amazing people join us in Cover Letter Magic. So happy to see you guys. I'm not sure if my team is calling any of them out. I'm not sure if they have access to call any of them out, but I'm going to just welcome some of you guys. I'll only say your first name because I don't want to give you away. Not that, I don't know. Anyway, okay, so it looks like we have Ravendier joined us inside of Cover Letter Magic. I can't wait to see you next week. You'll get links and workbooks and all that good stuff. Kelly joined us inside of Cover Letter Magic. So happy to have you there. Preeti, so happy to have you. Scotty joined us. Patricia joined us. Julie joined us. Sam, oh, awesome. And there's some more of you guys. I'll say hello to you in a second. I just want to see if there are any other questions that we need to answer. Yes, these 20 spots are going fast, but you guys, I will say, anyone who signs up, you still have access to this cover letter workshop. You get to join me and my team next week, ask us questions. I have an amazing presentation planned for you. Some state of the art, I'm going to call it state of the art, streamlined steps for you to take in writing your cover letter. No one is teaching it like this. So if you guys want to join us, make sure you get into the workshop, heatheraustin.online/live offer. The links are also inside of the chat and the comments box. Okay, team, any other questions that you want me to answer? Because I have a couple more minutes. I'd love to stick around with you and answer a couple more questions. My team is awesome. When they're in the chat and they're answering your guys' questions, it's like, I love it because I'm not talking as much, but I definitely want to answer questions. Hi, Tim. Okay, Tim asked, how do you decide which companies to target? Okay, this is such a good question. So Tim, I want you to think about, I know we've kind of had these conversations before, but I want you to really think about things that you're really good at, that you do well, that you're really passionate about, okay? I had a client recently who he had a couple different opportunities on the table, right? Well, the company that he decided to go with at the end of the day, he really loved their vision. He loved their mission. He loved just the type of work that they put out into the community, into the world. He was really passionate about where they were going in the future. So you really want to think about, does that company have the same did they align with what you want? Okay. I had another client who kind of worked for like a loan sharky business. And he was like, this is too much for me. Even though he wasn't doing sales and he wasn't doing any of like payment collection, it was just like, it was like the whole company culture worked in this environment, and it was tough. So you got to be really careful and make sure that company aligns with your goals and values. Now, I would look at, number one, Tim, who's hiring right now? Like, what are some organizations and companies that are hiring right now? And start exploring those companies, okay? They might not have a position in your exact expertise, but here's the thing. If they're hiring for one position, a lot of times they're hiring for another. So in that case, you can now take that template that I gave you guys about reaching out to a company to say, hey, I really like what you guys are doing, even though they might not have a position, and starting that relationship. So definitely start with who's hiring. Definitely examine who lines up with your career goals and aspirations. And here's the other thing, Tim, the other template that I shared with you guys about reaching out to your top 10 to 20 colleagues. They might be working for a company that you're like, ooh, what they're doing sounds awesome, or that company sounds awesome. Once you start really diving deep into what I taught you guys today, that list becomes more and more clear. And then I would start, in fact, Tim, you have access to the table and the template that we provide for you to actually start making a list of your companies, start adding the company names to that list. Such a good question. Okay, Melody asked, what if you were bullied on a job years ago and you don't know what your true full name on LinkedIn is? I'm not sure your true full name, because it seems like we have two different questions. Maybe clarify that question, Melody, if you can. I'll try and answer it the best I can based on what I know from this question so far. So your true, when it comes to LinkedIn, you guys, you'll of course build out your profile. We have videos and templates and resources for you guys to do that. When it comes to your name and maybe what I think you're saying is maybe you used a different name because you were bullied at your place of employment. Is that right? And I've had clients that have done this for security purposes. They've had to change their name. I think that's okay. I wouldn't think too much about it. I know there's a lot of things that there's a lot of things that we think people are seeing about us online and they really aren't. Like they really don't care. Like I meet with job seekers a lot and I'm like, okay, I want you to start like posting on LinkedIn. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make this post and everyone's going to see it. But in reality, like 2 people see it or like 5 people see it. And you really don't like, it's not like a viral post in the beginning unless you keep posting and you keep doing, all that stuff. So I feel like you just got to get in and get started and not worry too much about the full name. Even if you have a version of your name, that's okay. You could address that in your cover letter. You could address that in an email introduction, okay? Hopefully that answers your question, Melody. That's a good one, though. Okay, someone asked WFH break room. I'd love to know what WFH stands for. If it's a swear word, if it's not a swear word, let us know. But if it is, don't share it. Okay. Says, should you list all of your work history on LinkedIn? Should your LinkedIn be tailored also? How should your resume differ from your LinkedIn? Okay, good questions. I like to look at work history 10 to 15 years back, and that's about it. Most employers want to know what you're doing right now. They don't care necessarily what you did 15 years ago, and some of them don't even care what you did 10 years ago. So I would list 10 to 15 years back, same on a resume, and yes, it should be tailored. Now, the way that LinkedIn differs from your resume is your resume is a very formal, I call it a formal, stuffy document. Even though I love resumes, I look at them all day. It's one of the things I really like to do, but it is stuffy. And there is a certain language you use when you are writing a resume. Now, I like to build out resumes first before I go to LinkedIn. Once you go to LinkedIn, you're now going to take the information from your resume, but you're now putting it in a much more, I'm going to use the word that Ellen used earlier, digestible format, and it's becoming more personable. Now you can say, hey, I have a passion for this, and I'm driven to do X, Y, and Z. You could even say, I have a love for snow skiing and horseback riding. Like this is where you get more personal and you add more character, right? That's on LinkedIn. You're not going to do that on a resume, but you will do that on LinkedIn. Okay. Hopefully that answers your questions. Good. Let's see. Drama World. I love it. I'm going to answer your question in just a second here. Okay. Drama World says, I want to apply for a job and I have no experience. I have recently graduated and I'm afraid they won't accept me. Do you advise me or recommend something to do? Yes, Drama World, apply for the position, okay? Here's the thing. Employers love fresh new graduates. Why? Because you're trainable, you're teachable, you're eager, you're ready to get going, okay? Well, you want to come across that way in the interview. Hopefully you are that way. I would go all in on even just that template that I shared. The very last one that I shared about reaching out to a company that doesn't have a position listed. You could use a version of that and send it to the company that you want to work for. Make sure you're talking about why you want to work for that company. Did you learn something through researching them on the internet or on LinkedIn? Really show them that you're eager and ready for this opportunity. The other thing you could do if they just simply say, sorry, you don't have work experience, we're not going to hire you, ask them, do you have an internship? Can I come and volunteer here for a day a week or a couple hours a week just to learn the ins and outs? Within a month or 2 months, I wouldn't be surprised if you had a job with that company. So don't let your no experience hold you back. Let it propel you forward, okay? Good question. I love it. Okay. Athea says, thank you for your resume template. You're welcome. I need to add this cover letter. Yes, definitely join us in the cover letter workshop. I give you guys all the templates, and the examples and all that stuff. And then I'm super excited to share with you guys next week, using artificial intelligence to help you with your resume or your resume too, but your cover letter. That's specifically for next week. I want to share with you guys the screen really quick. When you go to our Cover Letter Magic page, it's not like a full-blown enrollment page like we do for most of our programs, but you'll see it gives you kind of a little bit of explanation about the workshop. You'll see the date. You'll see some of the things that we're doing, when the event is. You'll also get to see like basically what we're covering during the event, what the bonuses are. And then we have a little section over on the right where you can complete your order. Again, we do take PayPal. Most people don't take PayPal, but we do. My husband's like a computer genius, and he got us wired up for PayPal. So we take PayPal or credit card, so you can go in and look at that page, okay? That's what you'll get when you go over to heatheraustin.online/live offer. Okay, let me go to Athena, or Athea? Athea, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Okay, so Athea's question: what are the common questions asked during a screening interview over the phone, and how do I prepare for it? Good question. So we're kind of taking a little turn off of cover letters. So when it comes to a screening interview, you have to remember these are short and sweet. They're like 10, 15 minutes long. All they're doing is they're just trying to gauge, do we want to put this person through to the next line of interviews, which is a little bit more of a serious interview, okay? The questions you're going to get are really basic. You need to be able to answer them fast, okay? Most of the time, they're going to say, tell me about yourself, okay? I have a formula and a special signature way that I like to teach my clients to answer that question. I have videos on that. We also teach that in my programs. But you'll definitely want to be prepared for that. Also, a lot of times they want to ask you about your expected salary like in these screening interviews, because they want to say, hey, can we afford this person or not? So I do have even more videos about negotiating your salary, because you generally don't want them to you don't generally want to give them your number first. Like if they say to you, what's your expected salary? And you say, well, it's anywhere from 80 to 150. Let's just say you said that. They're going to think you're willing to take 80,000, right? Well, you don't want that to be the case. You want to be able to give them a direct number and not a range. But the ideal case is for you to get them to give you the number, which a lot of recruiters are experienced, and most of the time they won't budge. But I have 3 questions that I have you ask to get them to give you the number first, okay? And those are in my salary negotiation videos as well. Okay, Brandy, I'm going to answer a couple more questions here. And I'm going to say hello to all of you amazing folks who joined us inside of Cover Letter Magic. I'm so excited to see you guys next week. By the way, it will be on Zoom. I'm going to actually be in this room again. In fact, this is my mother-in-law's chair. I love this chair because it reminds me of like something from the 90s. And I'm like, I'm going to wear something that sort of like matches the chair. Like normally I'm in my office and you don't normally see my chair. So I'm just making do with all sorts of things here. Okay, let me see. I don't remember where I left off to saying hello to you guys. Jody, thanks for joining us inside of Cover Letter Magic. Let's see. Cheryl joined us inside of Cover Letter Magic. Ricardo, I'm so happy to have you in there. Adrian, Brian joined us. Awesome. Is it Homeria? I think is how you pronounce your name. Okay, you guys, if you want to get one of those 20 spots, I'm not sure if they're gone. If they are, just join us anyway, because we're going to have a blast and you're going to love it inside of that workshop. Okay, let me go back to my questions doc really quick, and then we will sign off. Thanks for everyone who's joined us inside of the workshop, and I'll see you next week on Zoom in a private interactive workshop. Okay, let's see. Okay, Brandy said, I keep getting recruiters reaching out to me for jobs in other states. I'm not in a place to relocate. How do I filter this better? So Brandy, there is some options inside of LinkedIn. Now, by the way, you guys, I'm going to tell you really quickly, I'm not a big fan of you having an open to work feature on your profile. I don't love it. Instead, I would rather that you're actually using kind of, I call it the back end features of LinkedIn, where you're actually going in and letting them know that you're available without flagging the entire world, okay? So I would say to go in there and set your preferences to actually even, because you don't want that displayed to the world. I mean, some people do, and that's okay. I'm not as, I don't love that as much. Okay. So if you go to your LinkedIn profile and you actually just edit your profile settings on the back end to tell them what it is that you're interested in, you can even go to the jobs feature is an amazing feature as well, where you can actually say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I don't like, you can check a box that says if you want remote or not. You can check a box that is remote, full-time, part-time, that kind of stuff. So I would do that inside of the LinkedIn settings. Good question though. Okay. Awesome. Raven Deer says, how do you help first year university students looking for summer jobs? Okay, here's the thing. It's going to come down to you leveraging your network again, okay? Or even, I like to call it footwork, but it's like, I don't want you to think of you have to walk in and go, but sometimes you do have to walk in and ask someone, hey, are you hiring? This is my first year as a university student. I'm really good at X, Y, and Z. I could help you in X, Y, and Z. I could help you do whatever. Or are you looking for, the perfect word for a student is an internship. Are you looking for some interns? I could intern for you. I could do this. This is my specialty. This is what I'm going to school for. It's really, you got to reach outside of your box. You got to either start talking to people, walking into places, networking on LinkedIn if you want more of a remote position, and really start getting your name out there. Now, I do have in our toolkit, in our Resume Mastery Pro course, and in the Academy, templates just for that. In fact, we just put brand new templates, resume templates in for recent graduate, little work experience, and no work experience. Now, that's 3 different templates. I know that's 3, but I wanted it to be tailored specifically for those situations because they are a little bit different. A recent grad has a different resume than someone with no work experience, and then has a different resume with someone with little work experience. So we created templates and examples for all of those situations. Okay, William asked, is it okay to have multiple page resume? It depends on what you mean by multiple page. I don't recommend going over 2 pages for anyone. If you have less than 7 years of experience, I say stick with a 1 page. If you are in academia, which we just created a whole brand new course on how to write an academic CV, you could have up to a 15-page resume, but that would pretty much be it, okay? I wouldn't go more than 2, but it depends on your experience. Good question though. Okay, WFH break room. How should we combat age discrimination? Should we leave off graduation dates? I'm 40 and I feel old. Oh, 40's not old. You're young. You are young and spry. Yes, you can leave off graduation dates. You can. It really depends on the position you're looking for. It depends on the type of work you're looking for. We just worked with a client who we actually turned his resume into a hybrid resume format to combat some of that. I'm not saying functional. I don't love the functional resume format, but I'm saying a hybrid where we combine like your greatest skills. Now, inside of my programs, I'm going to call it my signature resume because it is amazing, where I have you actually bring some of your career highlights to the top. And we're focusing more on those. Like if maybe it was something you did 10 years ago that you wanted to focus on, you can bring that to the top. But I would not, I mean, yeah, I can see how you could maybe face age discrimination. It just depends on what the job is. Let me see. You have another question. Then I'll jump back to Mary's question. So with so much competition, it's better to look for a position that you fully qualify for and move up from within, or for a position that is above what you qualify for and know you can do. I'm a proponent of number 2. I'm always the type that will go for something that I'm not totally qualified for. In fact, this happened to me when I applied for an academic dean position when I was like 24. And they said, sorry, you don't have the leadership experience. I didn't even go. There was a program chair position that they offered. I was like, I'm not going to go for that one. I'm going to go all the way for the dean. And I applied, and at 24, they said, sorry, you don't have the experience. However, we have this other position, and this has happened to many of my clients before. They said, we have this other position for you. It's a program chair, and we'd love to hire you for that one. And then, work there for a couple of years, and then let's see if you learn what you need and you can move into the academic dean role, and we will move you up. And so that happened to me. And by the time I was 27, it took me 3 years. I worked in the program chair role, and then they moved me up to academic dean, and it was awesome. And I got to experience real leadership and make lots of mistakes as a new leader. So yes, I'm a big proponent of going for the moon. Like, if you guys remember back to all these stories that I shared, all these people, or most of them, when they're landing these offers, it's much more than they thought. Some of them are doubling their salary. So I feel like we are our worst critics, and we hold ourselves back, if that makes sense, right? So just go for the moon is what I'm going to tell you. Let's see. Scotty says, will the 3 emails be available after this call? I missed the screenshots. Scotty, go back to the recording, because this is on replay, so you can go back. They are available inside of my program, so you have to be able to access our learning management system. They're inside of that, but just go back and you can screenshot on the replay. Okay, Mary says, a recent graduate here too. Awesome. Welcome, Mary. Transitioning from engineering to data product. I love it. Been applying like crazy with no interviews so far. Been using job boards, so we'll change that. Any advice to stand out? Yes. Mary, you need an amazing LinkedIn profile, you need an amazing resume, and you need an amazing cover letter. Now, whether you use your cover letter in the application process or you turn it into your introduction, I call it a mini sales presentation. You need to get that squared away. It's really kind of putting together your career story. If you're not getting interviews, that tells me that there's something wrong up front with your career portfolio, that it's not hooking them enough to want them to engage with you and ask you for an interview. So we'd have to start there. Now, if your resume was good and everything was good and you were getting interviews, but no offers, then that's when we need to say what's going on during the interview. Like, maybe you're not answering the questions how they want you to, or maybe you're not clear on your own career story, or maybe whatever, right? So what I know based on your response is we need to tackle that resume and LinkedIn profile and your cover letter, and then go forward from that. And if you don't have access, you guys, we also do have the toolkit. A lot of you have it. If you don't have it, we do have, in fact, let me share a link. It is on our website, but the toolkit has most of our, it has every template that we put out, and I'm going to share with you guys. So anyone who's here, I'm sharing this live. I've never shared this live with you, but I am going to give you guys a coupon code that you can use to grab the toolkit. My members on Facebook, so all of you guys in Facebook should have this code, but this page that I just shared, that is access to our career advancement toolkit with all the templates that I'm talking about in terms of resumes, LinkedIn templates, interview templates. If you use the code, and I'll type this into the chat, use the code CLUB at checkout, and I think that gives you a discount or a special offer of $50 off. I can't remember exactly, but for those that are still here, use that code if you want to grab the toolkit, because that includes all of the other templates that you'll need access to in terms of just landing your job. Awesome. Okay, so happy to see so many of you guys joining us inside of Cover Letter Magic. Sandra is going to be joining us next week. Megan, so happy to have you. Catherine's going to be joining us, or Kathleen, I think is what it says. Awesome. So happy to have you guys join us. We are going to have a blast. So keep an eye on your inbox for those who have joined us already, and get your cover letter workbook. I will say I had my cover letter workbook. I think I packed it. So we moved our house from our house last week, and I'm like, I need my workbook. I actually went to a print shop. I had it printed. It looks amazing. It's awesome. Because when I'm in the workshop, I like to show you guys what page to go on. I think it's packed in a trailer waiting for us to move into our new house. So I might not have it unless I guess I could go get it printed again. It was only a couple dollars. Yes, Tim, templates are in the academy as well. Well, actually the templates that I shared today, I don't know if those are in there yet, but I'll put them in there for you. And if you don't see them, just remind me. Say, Heather, I don't see the templates. So, okay, you guys, so awesome. So excited to see you guys next week at our special private live 90-minute cover letter workshop. If you have any questions in the meantime, let me know. Don't forget to hit like on this video. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can get live trainings like this again in the future, videos when we release them every week, and join us for some amazing career content, you guys. Have an amazing week, and we will be in touch.